So I've been asked to speak a little bit today about flipping the classroom. I'm pretty much a creature of habit and been doing the same thing for, I don't know, as long as I've been here. Kids walk in the door, they'll get into homework groups, go over their homework. I tend to clear up any questions they have. Then I go about lecturing and I'll, ask kids questions throughout the lecture, so on and so forth. And then with any extra time, they get to work on their homework, or I'm kind of monitoring them and telling them to start working on their homework. And the problem with that has always been, at least for me, that most of the time is spent me presenting to them. And granted, I'm asking questions, they're giving feedback, but it's mostly directed by me. And then if you look at some of my student survey results over the last 20 years, these are pretty much the comments I usually get. Everything was fine when you explained things, and then I got home, didn't understand it. Everybody else seems to get it, so I don't feel like I can ask a question. Or you go so fast I can't write things down so quick. And then Alan Baugh 15 years ago writes, you give too much homework. And I've been getting that every year from, the beginning of time. So I really have tried to change how I do things over the years, and I've gone to technology conferences. I've been looking for software that would actually impact my math curriculum, but I couldn't find anything. So I went last year to Q Conference and I listened to a guy talk about flipping the classroom, and what it is a paradigm shift. All right, and my flipping the classroom works this way. I'm taking my delivery method and sending that home to them. And the time in class is used for cooperative work, clarification of things that were already explained to them, and monitored practice. So basically, a lot of their homework is now done in the classroom. What kids basically do is they'll go home that night, go to my website, and they'll pick from the lesson assigned that given night. And they can always go back and review old lessons if they want. So they'll click on one of these, highlighted spots, go to a web page that has a YouTube video in it, and they'll start playing the YouTube video. And it might look something like this. A goes with X and Y. The A term's always first, so A is equal to 4, B is equal to 2. So enough of that. It's not very riveting, but that's what it is. The content's delivered, it's accurate, they can follow things. So then when they're done viewing the lesson in question, then the next thing will be they have to go and fill out a form which is directly below the YouTube video. And in this form they'll have their name, and they have to give a lesson summary telling me a little bit about what they learned and what they struggled with, and they'll have to do a couple of questions I pose at the end of every lesson. What I get back from them every day is I get a spreadsheet telling me that they watched the video, number one, when they watched it, when they answered the questions, and I get a little synopsis of what they understand and don't understand. And some kids do a great job at it, and some kids, like this kid down here, said, I'm getting much better at this. So it doesn't tell me a whole lot. But these other, and I'll go talk to him during class, but these other kids give me some valuable input. So at the beginning of class, I can start my lesson by saying, okay, I noticed a lot of you didn't understand this, and I do a quick 2 or 3 minute reteach. After that, I send them to work, and they can work in pairs, they can work in small groups, what have you, and I'll go around and I'll start doing some evaluation. The first evaluation they get is, did they watch the video that night? Secondly, I require them to take the notes from the video, so I evaluate them on that. And then finally, at the end of class, after going around and working with the kids, I grade them on the amount of material they've completed and the accuracy of it. And I have my iPad out, and I've got these little radio buttons that I give them a 1 through 10 rating for, that all downloads to a spreadsheet, and I can put that in PowerSchool later. So that's the basic gist of my class. I think the negatives of it are, I feel like a lot of me as a teacher has gone out the window. I'm getting to interact with kids in a different manner, but I mean, as far as me putting on a show, it's not happening anymore. And obviously this takes a little bit of time and planning to get through. This 5-minute presentation that I'm giving you has probably taken 45 minutes to put together. All right, but here are the bonuses. Students get to ask questions anonymously on those databases every night. They can pause and repeat things whenever they wish. I have an idea, since I'm going around and looking at the kids' work, and they can ask me questions where they really are. I'm not guessing as much. They spend less time doing work at home, and to this point, I found my grades in the courses of similar nature that I did traditionally in the past are remaining pretty much the same. So I guess my goal is to have more bang for the buck, but right now I think I'm getting the same bang or the same grade for less work, which I'll take, in the first year or two, but eventually I want to get a higher degree of learning out of less work, because these kids have so much put on their plate these days, and I want to find a better method of getting them to understand the concept with a little less effort. Thought I'd just give you the technology I use to do this. The screen capture and recording, as you can see, there's about 8 different pieces of technology used to do this process. So that's what I've got for you in about 5 minutes. Thanks.